It's Luke and Naomi.
All right, episode 76. Do we say happy episode 76? Do we say happy episode?
Well, we should be happy for every episode that we do.
Yeah, okay, good. So it's not completely insane. All right, happy episode
Just slightly
76.
insane.
Everybody, thank you. If you've been here for all 76, we owe you a t-shirt or you're my mom or something like that.
That sounds about, I don't even know if your mom has made it through all 76 episodes.
I'm pretty sure because there was an episode or two ago that I was absolutely talking some smack and I never heard anything. So who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I'm Luke Austin. That's Naomi Lynn. If you don't know, if you're new, maybe you saw us on the street and you heard about we told you about the podcast because that's what we do.
Yeah, we tell everybody.
And you just tuned in.
Listen.
And it's like I couldn't remember their full names, but that's what they are.
Yeah.
I'm Luke Austin. That's Naomi Lynn. We have a really interesting review coming up. Naomi's Under a Rock reviews.
Yeah.
Naomi's never seen Primal Fear. Had no idea. I'm pretty sure.
Never even heard of it, honestly, until we added it to the list. Primal Fear does not sound like the movie that it is.
A really good, reminds me of when I was a kid and it's like, oh, that's a movie I know I'm never going to watch. And then when I got a little bit older and watched it, I was like, oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to seeing Naomi's reactions to her first time watching Primal Fear. Richard Gere, Edward Norton. I think if it's not his first role, it's the one that made him.
Yeah.
So that's coming up in just a little bit. If you are not new to the show, depending on how far back you go with Luke and Naomi, which is all the way back to New Mexico starting in 2019.
Yeah.
One of the first things that we introduced our listeners to about you was that you're not exactly the best with plants.
No, absolutely not. I have a brown thumb.
The brown thumb.
And it's real bad. Real bad. It is a curse I live with.
So being that we're recording on Earth Day.
Oh, yeah, it is Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day 2024.
Yeah.
I thought I would let the world know Naomi's about to murder some of Mother Earth's children again.
No, don't say that. I am not going to murder them. Mother Earth's children. This sounds horrific.
I was trying to go for effect, yeah.
No, so we got this box that's a salsa garden. So it's got like tomatoes and peppers and green onions and stuff like that, and you plant them all separately so that you can harvest them and make salsa. So we planted them.
So I have new plants going that I figure I'll be taking care of, after a week or so. After the novelty of little sprouts wears off, we'll see what happens.
No, I think they're going to be cute when they start appearing. I just, I'm just not the best with knowing how much water they need and making sure they don't die.
So here we go. We're on a journey to find out what happens with Naomi Lynn's salsa garden, which I am going to take some ownership of because I do like growing some stuff. So I'll be hovering a little bit.
Yeah, just give me some guidance so I don't murder them. That's fine.
But so one of
I don't want to waste them.
The cool things though is this literally came in a small box, and it's like, all right, well, we haven't done it for a while. We've had it for a minute, but we haven't put it all together because it's like, all right, well, we got to go out and get dirt and probably planters and stuff like that. But we open it up and it's the craziest thing. It's got these little soil discs. They look like hockey pucks almost.
Yeah, feel like it too. Compact dirt, so tightly squished together. Unbelievable.
It was so cool. Then we just let it soak in water, and it was like the snakes. I just think of the South Park episode when I say the snakes. That when you were a kid and you had the fireworks, you weren't exactly allowed to light off the big ones.
Yeah, so you had the snakes.
Hold the lighter sideways and burn your thumb while you're trying to light a snake on the concrete. Mm-hmm. Those things. So that's what these little soil discs reminded me of.
And just grew.
And before you know it, we had enough dirt for each individual.
More than a full pot.
It's crazy. Like a solo cup's worth of dirt in these little discs.
Yeah.
That was, it just kind of blew my mind. The age we live in,
It's amazing.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
And now we're going to have a salsa garden, and I'm not going to kill these plants, and it's going to be a good thing. We'll let you know how it goes.
Well, write it down. Yeah. Or whatever. Now it's out there. So, little update on Naomi's thumb. On the color of your thumb. Is it brown still? We'll see if we can turn it green a little bit. Was it last week? I cannot remember. I really can't remember. I should have wrote it down. That we talked the wacky pet name contest.
It was last week, yeah.
I don't know why, but it feels like a month ago or something like that.
It was a busy week.
So if you didn't catch the last episode 75, we talked about there's a contest. Like, I love the wacky pet names. They just get me. But there's a contest. Nationwide Insurance, I think, does it because they have a pet insurance division.
Right.
Or what have you.
Yeah.
So they do the crazy pet names every year. And the finalists for some of these this year were crazy. If you remember, Balsamic Vin
I like that one.
was a cat.
Yeah.
What else we got? There was... I'm trying to figure out how to turn this page. But anyway.
Okay.
Just some insane ones. So anyway, without further ado, I'll just jump to the winners. If you remember, if you want to hear the crazy nominations, I can't.
Just go back to the last episode.
But yeah, go back to the last.
You
episode.
have that ability. We don't right now.
That's what you have to now. That's our way to trick you to going back. So in the category of exotic pet, it was a bunny,
Okay.
a little bunny rabbit called Thor Odin Bun, god of Bunder.
That's cute. I
Bunder.
like it. I like the whole thing. It's cute.
Thor Odin Bun. It's a kind of a cute rabbit too. I'm not gonna lie. The cat category, Tony Scarface Baloney.
Yes.
Won
All
the-
right.
Won the cat category.
Go baloney.
There was a turtle nominated
Yeah.
called Midsize Sedan.
Yes.
I just remember that one from memory. And
Because it
then-
was that good.
Yeah, and then the winner of the dog category, which had some real insane, goofy, spoiled pet names. The winner, though, Molly from Corporate.
I like that one too.
That's the
That's
one.
a good one.
That's a great one.
I still like the idea of using that as an excuse. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to meet up with Molly from corporate. Yeah, I'm having dinner with Molly from corporate. You know,
Molly from Corporate peed all over the floor.
that's just weird.
A couple of last winners. Doc Pauliday is a dog. Piggy Smalls, a big giant like farm pig.
Yeah.
Prison Mike, cat's name.
Nice.
Yeah, that was last year. The year
I'm
before.
here for that.
Edgar Allan Poe, the cat.
Aw.
Dr. Potato Head, and Pickles McButterpants, the Muffin Slayer, was the cat's name.
I don't like that one. There's too much going on.
There's
there.
a lot there. That's the
Yeah.
one where you. How do you shorten that to like the baby talk name you do to the
Muffin.
pet? That's
I'm just sticking with Muffin. That's all I remember.
some examples of that in the last episode as well. Dr. Potato Head's a good one. Scarlet O'Hara, little tiny like Chihuahua looking dog.
Ugh.
Jean-Claude Van Damme with the cat. That's the cat's name. And DJ Scribbles and Bits.
That one caught me off guard.
I like DJ Scribbles and Bits.
Yes.
Prison Mike the cat though. Like you got to see this pic. Look at this cat.
Does it look like a prison Mike? Oh my
no, it's
gosh.
like a stupid adorable cat.
It's so cute. It doesn't look like Prison Mike.
Prison Mike.
Prison Mike's got to be like an angry, one of those cats that have the stuck angry face.
I mean, you put a little purple bandana on that cat, and it's Prison Mike all day.
Maybe.
All right, so Molly from Corporate. That's the dog winner of the crazy, wacky pet names. Nationwide Insurance. You just Google Nationwide wacky pet names or whatever. You'll find
It'll come up.
the whole dang list and all of that stuff. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations were out, but the actual inductees have popped up.
Okay.
They were announced. I know this is gonna make me sound old and a bit of a curmudgeon and all that, but you know where the inductees, the winners, the people going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame were announced last night?
No.
American freaking Idol.
Really?
Yeah, I don't get it.
I think I don't think it makes you sound old for being like, ugh, what were you guys thinking there? Because ugh, what were you guys thinking there?
I mean, why? How? Fine.
why is American Idol still a thing though?
Also, yeah.
I
exactly.
don't know any of the last 20 American Idols. What number are they on? 32 right now?
It's a lot.
It's been going on
I
for
think
way
it's
too long.
People like to watch the celebrities or something like that. Not going to be a poll
gotta
question. I don't
go.
care why. If you like it, you like it, whatever. But I just
If
don't.
you like it, I'm judging you a little bit. I'm sorry.
That's great. So anyway, on American Idol, they announced the
Okay.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2024.
Okay, so these are the people that are actually inducted in.
Yeah.
Everything is said and done, and they're gonna, get a plaque and a little space or however that works.
That's right. Big Mama Thornton is the musical influence category winner, along with British blues musicians Alexis Corner and John Mayall. I'm not familiar with any of those people. Jimmy Buffett and Dionne Warwick, I am familiar with, are being recognized for musical excellence, and along with some Motown people. And one of Motown's creators, Norman Whitfield. That's who that is. The performers, Mary J. Blige, Cher, Dave Matthews Band.
Okay.
Just makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Foreigner,
Okay.
Peter Frampton,
All right.
Kool and the Gang. Do you know any Kool and the Gang songs?
Like 2.
Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes.
That's how you follow talking about Kool and the Gang and Mary
Go
J. Blige.
Ozzy.
And A Tribe Called Quest.
I hope Ozzy shows up and gives a speech so we hear this.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Sharon. That's it.
That'll be fantastic. So anyway, that is live. I don't know how long they've been doing this live. I just haven't been paying attention. But you'll be able to watch the ceremony live if you have Disney Plus on October 19th.
We have to wait that long? It's a
Yeah.
long
Oh,
time.
they got to rehearse and figure out how they're going to perform and who's going to hold Ozzy up and all that other stuff.
Right.
And then, but I do like those when I've been able to catch those because they're a lot of fun. They do all the collaborations and all of that stuff. So those are the rock inductees, class of 2024 for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So speaking of music, something of which we know a little bit about, Loudwire.com
Okay.
put out a list of the 75 greatest rock songs of the 1990s, which is a solid wheelhouse for me. I'm a big, 90s rock guy and all that.
90s were a good time.
So this list is fantastic and super nostalgic. And honestly, if you were to put a playlist together, not on Spotify, but check out our show on Spotify. But, if you were to put a playlist together and use all of these songs, it'd be an awesome playlist.
Okay.
Just a fantastic. The number one song on this list.
Tell me something. Yes.
The number one song on this list is just, so we'll get there. Suspense builder. I'm not going to do all 25 or 75, but I have the top 20
Okay.
because I think it's worth it. I was going to cut it down, but it's a pretty solid list. So number 20, 46 and 2 from Tool.
Mm-hmm.
I love that song. Temple of the Dogs, Hunger Strike. Stone Temple Pilots, Interstate Love Song.
Okay.
Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name.
Of course.
Lump.
That's always a good one.
Presidents of the United States of America. Pearl Jam's Alive. 9 Inch Nails with Closer. They're all fantastic,
They are.
90s songs. I mean, if you're going to get nitpicky about what order they're in the top 20, you could probably do that. Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way? I would put lower than 13. Korn's Freak on a Leash is number 12. Harvey Danger, Flagpole Sitta. I love that song, but at 12, sure, keep it in the top 20, but I would put a couple of the ones I already mentioned. But that's just me. Foo Fighters, Everlong, number 10. So we're in the top 10 now. Faith No More is Epic, number 9. The Cure, Friday I'm in Love, that's 8.
That one's always fun.
Creed's Higher, number 7.
No!
I mean, is it, as a representation of the 90s, kind of, I get why it's not, I don't like the song that much, but it was an earworm.
You did at the time.
And when you
everybody did.
When you go 90s grunge, you kind of go, oh, Creed. You know what I mean? Not really,
oh
but
my gosh.
late
Creed.
90s. Late 90s anyway. Late 90s, because that song came out in 99. Number 6 on the list, moving on from Creed, The Cranberries, Zombie.
Yes. Anything from the Cranberries.
Number 5 on the list, this song was stuck in my head because I read this list last week. Low by Cracker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that song is awesome. Sometimes you want to go down like some junkie cosmonaut. It's a good song. That's number 5. Blink 182, What's My Age Again? Number 4. Blind Melon, No Rain. Number 3. Yeah, this list is killer.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains, Wood. Number 2. We're rounding out this list pretty well, except for Aerosmith, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing is number 1.
Are you serious?
It's like right at the end there.
Loudwire. What the hell?
I can't.
You know, it's only because that song got so much play because of what, Deep Impact or the other one?
Now you're gonna make me not be able to think about it. Yeah, Bruce Willis, Ben
Yes.
Affleck.
What is the other one called?
Armageddon.
Yes.
You had to say Deep Impact. If she didn't say Deep Impact, I
You
would have been
would've
like, yeah,
fine.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
I had it loaded up. Anyway, yeah. So you know,
That is the only
man,
reason. That is the only reason. That is a terrible way to end that list. What the hell?
it was a terrible way to end reading the list. You know what I mean? Like that. It's an awesome list. We're jamming right through. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Blink 182. All right, Blind Melon. Yeah, Alice in Chains. Aerosmith.
And then a ballad.
I don't want to miss a thing. There were several good Aerosmith songs. Then I love Aerosmith, but not not that one and not number one on this
Listen,
list.
I like that song from Aerosmith, but it's not like a rockin' song. You don't add that to. I don't care. It's not rock.
So loudwire.com
It is,
if
but
you want to
whatever.
tell them that we're pissed at them.
I am. I'm gonna write them an angry letter.
I'm really.
The
I
hell,
thought you were going to go the
guys?
other way and like maybe try to stick up for
Oh,
the
hell
song.
no.
Or
Hell no.
oh, you know, Armageddon, and it kind of defined. I mean, like I said, the Creed song sort of is a weird way to go. That's a thing if you're going to do 90s highlights. I don't know why, but Creed's always got to be there. But that and this song because of that movie.
I get that, and it was a big deal and all of that, but that doesn't make it number one.
But
I don't
yeah.
care
And
how many albums
rock
they
song
sold
too.
because of that, and just no.
It's like a hot
No,
AC
it's-
song. That's anyway. So there you go. There's your fired up for the week.
Ugh. It's gross.
We'll get out of there and spice things up a little bit with some random facts. Your recurrent dose of Did You Know?
You can try, but I'm pretty cranky over
Some
here now.
random facts for episode 76. Really? I mean,
What the hell?
that was a great list. I don't even hate the song.
I'm
It's
gonna
just
look
not
up
number
the
one on
rest
that list.
on that list and find out where that song was actually supposed to go.
But
I have a
killer
feeling
playlist.
it's going to be like 46, 47 is where it should have fallen.
Absolutely killer playlist. And,
Besides that one.
I forgot all about the song Low by Cracker. It is just like it's been in my head for a week. Now it's going to be back in there again. Fantastic. All right, here's your recurrent dose of Did You Know? Some random facts for episode 76. Did you know Meatloaf's album Bat Out of Hell came out in 1977, but still sells about 200,000 copies a year?
I believe it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What are
Go
people doing
Meatloaf.
that we're still buying Meatloaf albums?
I don't know.
Did you know Bob Ross, was of course almost as famous for his curly hair as he was for his paintings, but it was all a lie?
Was it a wig?
It was a perm.
Oh, that's fine.
Before he got famous, he permed his hair to save money so he didn't have to get it cut all the time.
Smart.
And then got famous whilst wearing the hairdo.
And then had to
kept
keep
it going.
it. Yeah.
I wonder if he was happy about that or at one point he ever just freaked out. I can't believe I have to do this.
I can't see him freaking out.
Wow.
He seemed to have such a calm demeanor.
That would be great, though. Just literally ripping his hair out. Did you know Converse All-Stars, the shoes, are technically basketball shoes?
Okay.
That's how they started life. People actually used to wear those to play basketball. But no one's worn them in the NBA since a player on the Atlanta Hawks, Tree Rollins, 1980.
Okay.
Did
Now
you
I know.
Yeah, now you know. Did you know the longest border between any two countries is, do you know?
The longest, you mean like consistently long border across? Would it be the U.S. and Canada?
It would be. That's the
Cool.
longest border. 5,525 miles, which is about 1,300 miles longer than any other border. Number 2, Russia and Kazakhstan.
Okay.
My name is Borat. And finally, did you know?
Go home.
Did you know we should be way more scared of Bambi than of Jaws? Because deer are much more deadly to Americans each year.
Probably from hitting them with your cars.
They're more deadly than sharks, alligators, bears, and venomous snakes combined.
Wow.
Deer. For example, just 2 deaths in the U.S. by shark attack in 2023, but every year, deer account for 59,000 human injuries and 440 deaths. And that's not like, John Bob shooting himself because he was drinking too much.
Right.
That's
a deer ran in front of the road because he's stupid.
Yeah.
And you hit him and he kicked you in the face or something terrible like that.
insane, right?
Yeah.
All I'm thinking of right now is Tommy Boy with the deer in their car. So
I think about that a lot, honestly.
God, I wish you hadn't
so
seen that
scary
movie.
to me.
I wish we could watch that movie for the first time, but
Don't worry, we'll have Austin Powers soon, and I feel like
I can't wait. That's gotta
that'll
be
make
sooner
you
rather
happy.
than later.
Yeah.
We did Black Sheep though, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Actually, yeah, we did it as a review.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay, so Black Sheep's there. You can check that out if you're new or if you haven't heard it. Anyway, that is your recurrent dose of Did You Know, some random facts for episode 76. Last week we started talking about, I love doing goofy shit like this where it's you're given immortality, but you're sent back immediately 300 years.
Okay, so I thought about what I would do.
All right.
Like I know I mentioned before that I would go into hiding and all
Let
of
me
that
do
stuff.
the parameters one more
Okay.
time in case we
Yes.
got anybody who wasn't listening. So you're given immortality, but immediately sent back in time 300 years. Now we threw on the caveat that you cannot opt out.
Yeah.
I understand some people be like, nope, I'm not doing it. No cell phones or no toilet paper or pants or whatever it is. I get it. But, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So what is the plan?
Okay.
300 years.
So my plan.
You get to choose where you land, too, when you land back in time.
Yeah, so I'm gonna land somewhere in like Europe or whatnot.
All right.
I'm gonna wait till somebody is gonna take a ship over to the Caribbean. And then I'm going to get on that ship and go with them.
Okay.
That way I'm not by myself trying to figure this out.
All right.
I don't want to be stranded somewhere and I haven't built up friendships or anything like that yet. So I'll start in Europe, get a posse together, all that. We're going to go to the Caribbean. I'm going to scope out some land, all of that. And now I know what I know now. So I know what I'm looking for
All
when
right.
it comes to like businesses starting to pick up.
Oh,
and
you're
all
gonna
of
be
that.
the one hustling tourists on the street.
Oh,
Hey, my man, come check out my
yeah.
stall over here. Come over here.
No,
Come over here.
no,
Come on.
Not only that, but like I have built up this nice beach house and all of that people can come check out before all the big skyscrapers and everything start taking over. I've got like prime location. And then they're going to come to me and be like, hey, we'll give you $50 million to sell your land. And I'm going to be like, no,
No.
I've got this.
That's what your big plan is to
It's
tell
not-
people no.
Kind of.
You're going to be a historical squatter.
Yes.
Here's the story of crazy old Naomi. She would not give up her land.
That's right.
That's right.
My spot.
And now her great-great-great-great-granddaughter, who's actually you and they just don't know,
Yes.
is now the, CEO multimillionaire of this resort.
Yeah, but it's small though. So you still get all the beauty and all of that kind of stuff as if it's like untouched, but maybe ruffled a little bit.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
And then
that.
it's just going to be a wonderful life from there, Make all my
Just
my
gouging
money
tourists.
right away. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you want a spot on the beach? I
I'm
got the
already here.
best spot. It's going to cost you $500 a night.
Just gouging tourists and hunkering down from hurricanes.
Yep.
That's right.
That's the goal. That's the dream right there.
While you're there, you could build the what are they? The crazy islands that all the cruise ships have too. You could just
yeah.
just go stick flags on all of those, so they
This
have to
one's
buy them
mine.
from you.
Yes, it'll cost you $2 billion, but you can have it.
Royal Caribbean's like $2 billion. Like, listen, I know what you're thinking. You're gonna pony.
Yep.
All right, not bad at all. Mine is very much similar, although I'd probably get in a little bit more trouble. I like,
I feel like you would.
I would try to mess around a little bit, and I'd probably, bleep around and find out, honestly. So we got some good ones. Snowman says he would write down every big company to invest in as soon as he goes back, and then just sit there and wait to
yes.
invest, which is great. And then he
Microsoft.
He
All right,
said,
I'll drop $50 million
there you
in
go.
there.
He said he'd probably interview George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and write a couple books. And then he says,
smart.
write books predicting the future.
Yes.
Call him Nostra Snowman. Nostra Snowman.
That's phenomenal.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Dorsey says, can we go back further? 300 years isn't really that far back. I'm thinking more like 30,000 or so. Draw in some caves, beat out Newton on the whole gravity thing and calculus. He says, be a pirate and rule the seas. I'm immortal, so time's on my side. Either way, I'm going to have fun messing with history.
All right, Dorsey.
I like that one. The pirate.
Living his best life
Hell yeah.
for 30,000 years.
I would so bad try being a pirate too, because, you know.
Why not?
Just give it a shot.
You're immortal.
Outlive the jail if they have to throw you in one, you know?
Yeah.
Just chill. Brian from England sent us his answer. I love this answer. Excellent answer, Brian. He says, in regards to going back 300 years, he says, I would learn to become a successful banker or money changer. I would finance expeditions and invest in wool and silk manufacturing. Thus, I could acquire huge wealth and big estates. Most countries in the 17th centuries were monarchies, so it would help if I was useful to them. What you don't want to do, and this is freaking brilliant, what you don't want to do, Brian says, is come up with way too many modern ideas like too fast and fall foul of the church.
Oh.
You know, remember that whole Inquisition thing?
Yes.
Yeah, the Dark Ages and such. So there's that.
Smart.
You know, no sciencey, no predictions, snowman, or, you know, they're going to burn you. He says, you'd have to bide your time with some ideas. Now, for an interesting twist, Brian says he'd travel to America and dispose of Paul Revere and stop his midnight run. I love that. I love this. He says, I would weed out all the spies and collaborators, etc. He says, get the King of England to deploy more soldiers where it mattered.
Oh, my goodness.
And make sure we won the war.
Yeah, but if it didn't happen the way that it did, it would still happen, just later and with somebody else.
Well, you know, Brian could be a profiteer on that side too.
What is it? Like the butterfly effect, where, well, no, that's when you're changing something. There's another movie out there where it's like, even if you try to change something, it still happens. Just takes a different route to get there.
Is that like Final Destination or something?
No, it's some weird movie. I know it starts where like the guy builds a time machine because his wife died, so he goes back in time to try to save her, but then she ends up dying a different way, and then he realizes every time he goes back, she just dies.
Oh, I know what you're
way.
talking about, but I do not know the name of that.
Yeah,
off the top of my head. Somebody you can message us, and that
so,
way we'll know you're listening.
So you can stop Paul Revere. But somebody else is going to come along.
That's right.
Somebody else is going to get in some ships, you know.
Brian will be tired of the British after a while. He'll be like, you know what? I got some ideas here.
That's right.
I got some time, too. But then he says after that, he would watch the future unfold, not knowing what was going to happen. Because if you go back 300 years, he says, you pretty much know how the future is going to unfold. But by making that huge change, all bets are off. So
very interesting.
Basically just surfing the future and not knowing what's going to happen. That's a very, very well thought out. I want to sit here and absorb that for a minute but that is a great way to go. And I love, of course, Brian from England has to say, and I love dispose of Paul Revere.
Right.
You know, not take him out, not dispose of.
Dispose of.
That's fantastic.
So, how'd you do it, Brian?
Yeah, how would you do it, Brian? You're just going to knock him off the horse, or you're going to try to get there a few days early? You know what I mean?
That's right. Just buy him a couple of beers so that he forgets that he's supposed to go out there, and you know.
And evidently, Paul Revere's an infamous cat in Britain. Okay. England.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't think of Paul Revere all that much, but apparently he lives rent-free over there, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right. Excellent answers. I love that one. It's goofy as hell.
It is.
We have a much, 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 much easier one for you for next time. We got talking about Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And Naomi doesn't know Robin Hood.
I know Robin Hood.
Who's Robin Hood's best friend?
I don't know.
Then
Robin Hood's best friend.
Then you don't know Robin Hood.
I know Robin Hood.
Who's Robin Hood's girlfriend?
Lady Robin Hood. Worth a shot.
Who's Robin Hood's like adversaries?
A king.
Good guess. Do you know where it's set?
A forest?
Can you give us a country? When we say
no, I
Naomi
cannot.
Lynn's Under a Rock reviews, gang, this is exactly why we say this. So, Robin Hood is coming. Robin Hood's on the list. I love Robin Hood and all the different iterations, but we need to know which one we should watch first. Which one
one gets ripped apart by me?
Which one introduces Naomi to the story the best? And I'm, there's a lot. We obviously aren't going to start with Robin Hood Men in Tights, although that will be fun. But what are we going to do as far as these two? Okay, so it's either the Disney one, the animated one again, Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest. I love that. Or the Kevin Costner led one with Morgan Freeman and Alan Rickman. Yes.
I'm up for either one. They both sound interesting. So
again, we mentioned this last episode because it's definitely something we've been talking about. Brian says go with the Kevin Costner one, Prince of Thieves.
Okay.
That's what it's called. Because it's sort of more serious and gives you an idea of what's going on and all that. I'm personally leaning towards the cartoon.
Okay.
But we want to know. So we're going to put that up there. That's our question this week. Which Robin Hood should we use to introduce Naomi to Robin Hood?
And that's the one we'll watch and I'll review.
Very, very appreciative of anybody who lets us know their thoughts on that one. It's gonna help make the decision for us a lot better. So that's the question for next week. We won't make you think as hard as what you would do if you went back in time 300 years and we're going to live the whole time. So with that, I think that's it, right? That looks to be...
all housekeeping done?
That looks to be it. All right. That means it is time for Naomi's Under a Rock review. And now you've gotten a taste of exactly how under a rock
I live.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. Primal Fear, 1990, whatever. Richard Gere, Edward Norton, Laura Linney was just killer in that movie. Frasier's dad.
Yeah.
And who else was in it? Oh, Andre Braugher. I forgot. That's right. He just passed away recently. So him very, very young.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So first of all, I'm going to say that a lot happens in this 2-hour and 9-minute movie. So this is probably one of the longest note sections I think I've ever had.
Oh, here we go. Promising.
There's probably maybe 2 or 3, but those movies were very, very long themselves.
Right.
All right. So we start with Marty, this lawyer who seems to be a big shot, talking with a young guy, who I believe is doing an article on him. He's talking about lawyer stuff and the justice system, all while getting ready for this event. He's like all dressed up in a suit and a bow tie. Naomi, who I thought was his wife, was helping him get ready. I say thought was his wife because he heads to this fundraiser event where he's flirting with this other woman, Janet, who he apparently slept with, but not that long ago. And she's not really interested. So I really hope Naomi is his assistant or something and he's not a scumbag right off the bat.
Maura Tierney also.
Anyway. So we have this archbishop getting out of the shower. He goes to put like his rings on, other jewelry. That's when we see a knife come slamming down, cuts off his fingers. It's really gross. Blood goes everywhere. Then two windows break, and a mailman is out delivering mail when he hears the windows breaking. Then we cut to Marty meeting with his client that was offered a settlement of like $1.5 million, but he has to leave the state. And he says no. He built up a home here, and people are depending on him and all of that.
Seems to be like a neighborhood crime boss or something like that.
Yeah, right? But it seems small enough that it's not too big of a deal. But it kind of gives us an idea of Marty and who his clientele tends to be. Next, we see the crime scene with the archbishop. It looks like he's been stabbed multiple times. Multiple times. Later, we find out it's 78 times.
That's a lot of times.
Multiple times. There's blood all over the room. Investigators are in the room, and we see police chasing Edward Norton, a.k.a. Aaron, who has blood all over his clothes. All right, cool. So it looks like Naomi is his assistant. So apparently something happened in the movie at that time where I realized that they're, team members.
I like that this is what you were hung up with.
Well, listen, if you're following a movie and following a character and you find out they're a scumbag, like right off the bat, it's hard to, root for that character. I was worried about it. I was like, oh, the pressures of work. So he's out here cheating on his wife. You know, I didn't want that to be the case.
I like it. All right.
So, where was I? Yeah, we found out that he's not a scumbag. He calls her and tells her to find out where they took Aaron, because after the chase, he was caught and arrested. So we know he's going to take on this case and defend this guy. I'm hoping that even though his clothes are all bloody and he seems guilty, I hope that he's actually innocent and not just proven innocent because, you know, he's got a good lawyer. All right. Those were my thoughts.
All right.
At the time.
All
right. So Marty sits down with Aaron and starts to get to know him. Finds out he's from Kentucky. He met the Archbishop after he was begging on the streets. And the Archbishop invited him to Savior House, which is, you know, like a house for those who don't have a home. You know, the church takes you in and everything. And that's where he could stay. He ended up becoming an altar boy and singing in the choir. And he actually stayed even longer than he was supposed to. After you turn 18, you're supposed to leave. It was past his 19th birthday, and he had still been staying there. Marty asks if he had a reason to dislike the Archbishop, and Aaron is like, no, you know. And he says he didn't kill him. Aaron says there was another person in the room. He had been there to return a book, and he said, like, he saw another person standing over the Archbishop, and then he blacked out. When he came to, there's blood all over him, and he heard sirens, so he ran. This point, I'm like, I really, really hope he's innocent. And then they reveal who, like, the actual killer is and everything.
Yeah.
All right, so Marty goes to his office. He talks with this team, says they're taking on this case and wants to know everything they can about, like, the Archbishop and Aaron and just basically do some investigative work and do some digging here and see if they can find out another person who may have wanted to kill him so they can establish, you know, reasonable doubt, which could help clear Aaron's name. On the flip side, it looks like Janet, the lady Marty was trying to hook up with, is going to be a part of the prosecution's team. What?
The way
I see him chuckling over there.
they all get their labels like within their first actions of the movie. It doesn't matter what it is.
It's the best way to describe them going forward.
Guy who was pooping in the first scene of the movie. Like, he could be the superhero of the movie, but, you know, like...
At least I remembered her name was Janet, okay? I'm getting better at that.
We're watching Will Smith with Hancock, and it's drunk guy on the bench through half
It
the movie.
would be
Oh, wait,
fitting.
his name's Hancock now, I
It
guess.
would be
I don't
fitting.
know.
All right, flip side, we got Janet. She's going to be a part of the prosecution's team, and they're going to seek the death penalty. Marty and Janet have a little friendly banter back and forth while she shows him pictures of the crime scene. Then Marty goes to the crime scene to check it out for himself. Then Marty ends up meeting with Aaron in jail, and he's kind of a jerk to him, you know, like he's...
Their first meeting, right?
Yeah, and he just...
Well, yeah, you know, he's coming in going, okay, you probably did it. I'm not worried about it.
Well, it's
but
like the second meeting.
I'm here to take the, you know, to get all this publicity and fame and all this junk, so let's just get over with this part of it.
And he's like, I don't care if you're innocent or not, and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And, like, he's just mean.
It makes sense, you know, that's kind of what you do.
So Tommy, who's a member of Marty's team, goes to a hotel where Aaron had been staying to kind of investigate, check out everything. He ends up getting attacked by this guy, Alex, who we find out it was another altar boy, but was like hiding in Aaron's room.
Yeah, that was an intense scene, too.
Yeah, it was, because I wasn't expecting anyone to be in there.
Right? This is a jump scare in a movie when you're not expecting a jump scare whatsoever.
Yeah. So Marty asks Aaron if Alex could have killed the Archbishop, but Aaron can't really give him a straight answer. Alex apparently has a temper, but Aaron couldn't see anyone killing the Archbishop. So at this point, Aaron is not being much help. Like, I don't know. Like, he says that about everyone.
You want to do that voice so bad, don't you?
No, I can't. That was no, just no. So Marty had Aaron sit down with the doctor to discuss these blackouts that he's been having. Then Marty meets with Janet for some more fun back and forth. I feel like he does that to try to get information out of her, but also try to get a rise out of her at the same time. While Aaron is meeting with the doctor, we learn that Aaron has a girlfriend. They've had sexual relations. And she could possibly be sleeping with somebody else at the same time.
Uh-oh.
So that's not going to bode well for Aaron there. That's making him look a little guilty. Motive, all that.
Yep.
Martin and his team start digging into the Archbishop's financial affairs, and it looks like he could have had more enemies than we realized. Then he meets with Shaughnessy, who's like a close friend of the Archbishop, but also like a business partner, and
What was his?
and he was a state attorney as well.
There you go. Shaughnessy. That's John Mahoney, Fraser's dad.
Yeah. And he's the man calling for the death penalty in this case. He says he's the hero that keeps the town running. You know, when there are problems, everyone calls him, blah, blah,
Man,
blah.
he played a really good, like, I wouldn't necessarily call him the bad guy.
Egotistical, like, just
a jerk. Like, he played a really good dick of a guy.
egotistical villain. Yeah, I think it fits. He is a modern day villain.
Great.
But anyways, while they're having dinner, he's basically telling Marty to stop snooping around, and he better not get in the way of the men who keep this town up and running.
That's right. Yeah, because Marty was looking into all of that property
financial stuff. Yeah, South River properties or investments or whatever that ended up costing Shaughnessy a lot of money.
Yeah, so that's what he was trying to draw the connections of maybe that guy had the Archbishop killed.
Right.
And there's,
and then
somebody else who did it other than his client. Shadow
and this
of a Doubt
guy is, threatening him and all that. So, the little red flags just start waving at that point. So we see the opening statements in the courtroom, and it doesn't look too good for Marty and his team. I feel like they're grasping at straws at this point, and they need to find something quick. Otherwise, Aaron is going to be put to death. We see Aaron talking with the doctor again. She wants to talk about his girlfriend, but he doesn't want to talk about her. He says he's getting a headache and he's acting kind of weird. And then, he loses it. He just swears at the doctor. He stands up, or she stands up against the door. And it's almost as if he, comes to. And it's just kind of like, wait, what were you saying?
Yeah.
So what's going on here. Yeah. And it's almost like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde deal.
He did that so well.
So at this point, I'm not sure. Is he schizophrenic? Does he have multiple personalities? Maybe he did do it, or maybe he just blacks out when something really, really traumatic happens.
Okay.
So
That's
at this
what you were
point,
thinking at that point?
yes. At this point, I'm kind of torn. I can see him, blacking out and doing something bad, but I can also see when something traumatic happens that he just does not remember what's going on.
So
and
at this
it's
point,
not him.
Do you think he did this, or do you think he...
I still believe he's innocent at this point.
Okay.
Marty and Tommy hunt down Alex, the kid with the anger issues that was in Aaron's home. He runs off, but after a quick chase, they find him and they ask him what he was doing in Aaron's place. Apparently, he was looking for a tape that had some scandalous things on there. Had to do with Alex and Linda, Aaron's girlfriend, Aaron and the Archbishop.
Oof.
So Marty goes back to the Archbishop's chambers, finds the tape, borrows it. I wrote down steals it, but he does bring it back, we find out later.
Yeah. It was just borrowed.
It was borrowed.
Without asking.
Yeah. Him and his team watch it, and sure enough, the Archbishop made Aaron and Alex do some sexual things with Linda. Marty goes to the jail to confront Aaron, and he turns back into that alter ego, that other personality who apparently knows about this lawyer. He says, I heard about you, and says they're going to put so much poison in Aaron, it's going to shoot out his eyes, which means this other personality really isn't Aaron. He knows Aaron. They are in the same body, but it really isn't the same person. This other person doesn't have the stutter that Aaron has. It's just a different person. At this point, I'm still rooting for Aaron and his other personality to be innocent. I'm hoping Marty asks the other person, who are you, and if he did it. In that moment, within 5 seconds of writing that note down, we learn the alter personality is Roy, and Roy admits to killing the Archbishop.
Roy
and Marty get into it, especially after Marty mentions the tape. Says he's seen it. Roy throws Marty into the wall, and the doctor steps in and is like, Aaron. And that's when Roy crumbles to the ground. When he looks up, it's Aaron again. Now I have to stop and say this. When he looks up, it's Aaron again. That was some really good acting from Edward Norton.
Oh, yeah.
His face changes. His
so
demeanor changes. You could tell when he was Roy and when he was Aaron without him saying a word. It's like all the muscles just moved in his face differently.
Absolutely killer in that. Absolutely.
Like, you can tell when they were talking, you can tell the difference between the two characters. But again, the facial expressions, that was really cool. I was kind of taken back by that.
Nice.
All right, back to the movie. Marty leaves the tape outside Janet's door because he knows he can't add it to the evidence. She calls him about it, which at the time he's just like, no, I didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about and all that. They meet up for a drink. They have their little banter back and forth like they always do, talk about the case. Ends up with Marty trying to get her to go out again after the case is over, and she didn't like that and storms out. Shaughnessy stops by to visit Janet at work and knows she has seen the tape. So he threatens her and tells her it's in her best interest to destroy the tape.
Oh.
Later in court, Janet calls Tommy to the stand to testify that he had dropped off the tape in front of her apartment door and to explain what was on the tape. Since he's under oath, you know, he's going to have to do it.
That's
trying to be like
scene.
Sneaky to get around to everything.
Yeah,
you know,
that is
can't
really
enter
great.
it in as new evidence. She can't, you know, show the tape and all of that because now it's going to make her client look a little scummy, you know. So it tries to go about all of it.
That's such a great scene. Great courtroom, you know, acrobatics.
Yes, which there was a lot of that in this movie. Later in court, Marty calls Shaughnessy to the stand, and it gets pretty good. He brings up the whole South River enterprise or investments, whatever it was. That was a enterprise because it was a failed investment that the Archbishop was involved in. It had lost $60 million. We know before that he is a state attorney, Shaughnessy, but like it dives a little bit more into it at that scene where, you know, they bring back up that he was a state attorney, so he had to deal with who would get indicted in certain cases. And I put ... the plot thickens.
Yeah.
But still, not anywhere where I think this movie is going. Anyway, so Marty asked him...
Was this a bit of a red herring for you? Did this kind of throw you off and stop you thinking about Aaron and Roy and all that stuff for a little bit?
Absolutely. They tricked me, and it worked.
That's perfectly what it is, you know?
Yes. So I'm thinking over here, like, the Archbishop was killed, and Shaughnessy has something to do with this because he lost $60 million. That's a lot of money to lose. And, you know... I don't know, when you know people and you're in charge, like, you make people disappear. That's how it goes.
That's right. Of course, that's how every movie goes, you know.
So Marty asks Shaughnessy if he knows anything about the, like, sexual misconduct of the Archbishop, and he says, I don't recall. He kept saying, I don't recall for everything. It was getting kind of annoying.
Yeah, right.
Marty has proof of someone coming to Shaughnessy's office to talk about the sexual misconduct. And so he ends up lying and just saying, like, oh, I had no idea about it. But Marty has a police report that says otherwise, that, like, oh, you actually met with this guy about it. So it looks at this point that Shaughnessy had been protecting the Archbishop and making sure he didn't get in trouble for anything. The sexual misconduct, the financials, all of that. Then the Archbishop pulled out of the South River investment, cost Shaughnessy $60 million, so maybe he got mad.
Yeah, where are we going? Yeah. All right, what's going on here?
Now we have the doctor take the stand.
Francis McDormand.
Yeah. Can't change the plead in this case to insanity, which, you know, is brought up many times because of how insane Aaron / Roy is. So he has to be careful about the questions that he asks the doctor, not to make it believed that he's saying his client is crazy, but wants her testimony of what she's seen. He questions the doctor, who says Aaron did not and is not capable of murder, but Roy is and was.
Yeah.
So
then all hell starts breaking loose with the objections and whatnot.
Yes.
The objections start flying.
She gets cross-examined by Janet, who basically makes a mockery of her testimony, which that part was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Next, it's Aaron's turn on the stand. I really hope Marty, like, makes Roy come out with his question so everybody can see it. Well, at this point, he doesn't piss him off bad enough to make Roy come out. He asks him a couple questions, including if he killed the Archbishop, which of course he replied that he didn't. So now we're going to have Janet cross-examine him, which I'm sure she'll get Roy to come out and show his face. And yes, that's exactly what happens.
So you saw that coming.
Yes. She gets him all riled up, and he starts swearing at her, jumps off the stand, attacks her, grabs her by the neck. He's finally wrestled to the ground by security in the court. Janet and Marty are then called to the judge's chambers. She says they're not going to proceed. They're going to take another way to end this court case. But here's the thing. But they're going to dismiss the jury, go with a bench trial. It's going to be a blind plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, which is how it could have gone from the beginning. Marty asked for more time so that his client could have an evaluation, but they denied him that time.
She did.
So they needed a plea right away. So he pleaded not guilty. So it's kind of the judge's fault and the prosecution's fault for wasting all this time.
All right.
Just saying.
Nice
I get
call.
that that's not the point of the movie, and we wouldn't have this whole story built up.
So you still find a way to scold the judge.
It kind of pissed me off. Like, you wasted all this time. Now you're mad because your courtroom or they made a mockery of your courtroom and all of this kind of stuff. Well, if you would have gave them a couple of extra days, none of this would have happened.
That's just hilarious.
You know, whatever.
That is just hilarious.
All right, so Marty goes to tell Aaron that he's going to be going to the hospital, and, you know, it's all going to be over soon and all of that, and Aaron's super grateful. As Marty is leaving, Aaron says to tell Janet he's sorry about her neck. It takes about 2 seconds to click in.
Here we go.
Before he turns around and goes like, wait, what? You said when you black out, you don't remember anything. How would you remember her neck? And that's when the whole world comes crashing down. Aaron says it doesn't matter who said it. Aaron says it. Roy says it. Who cares? There is no Aaron. Oh my gosh.
So we got you with one?
Did not see that coming at all.
So we got Naomi with one. All
so
right.
happy. I was like, Aaron's going to go get help. You know, his split personality. This poor kid has been through so much. And really, no, it's just this kid who was like, that guy did me wrong, so I stabbed him 1,000,000 times. Oh, yeah, and I killed my girlfriend, too, because she just went missing, and we don't talk about that anymore.
Loved how he just throws that in there at the end.
And Marty got played like a fiddle through the whole thing. Whole thing. Oh, my gosh. I mean, he stabbed someone 78 times, so you gotta be a little insane to do that.
A little bit.
So there is that.
I love it.
But I really believed he had the split personality. And I was all like, Edward Norton is made for this, because then later he does Fight Club.
Yeah.
You know, he's good with the split personalities. Absolutely nuts. Did not see that coming at all. Marty can't believe it. The movie closes with him walking out of the jail, walking across the sidewalk, and then just standing there as if it's all hitting him all at once. Just bam.
Also walked out the back door of the police station instead of out to the press that he had been doing the whole movie, you know?
Right. Like he wants to face everybody now.
Questioning his whole world.
He should be.
Amazing.
The end.
The end. All right. So you didn't see it coming.
Did not see it coming.
Didn't figure it out.
I was blindsided.
Mrs. I like to figure it out all the time.
Yeah.
I think we've had a couple where, you know, I mean, maybe because of pop culture and stuff, you ended up knowing. But,
yeah.
You know, like we review The Sixth Sense, and the sting is off of it a little bit because everybody knows.
Everybody knows, but it was still well enough done movie.
That is a great
still
review, by the way. If you haven't heard that one, check out the Sixth Sense review too. That's back a few. There was a couple more Usual Suspects, and I think there was one more that you kind of had you were like, nah, I kind of saw that coming. I knew that was going to be how that was going to go. So I was wondering here, like I wouldn't look at you
Which was probably smart.
I tried, like, as they were doing the big reveal, I was trying to side-eye you just a little bit to see if your face but I didn't want to risk taking you out of the movie.
I
because
try
I was
so
looking.
hard, like, to keep a poker face, especially if I feel that you're, like, looking over in my direction.
Right, yeah.
I'm really glad you didn't look this
It's the
time
whole
because I'm pretty
observer
sure
effect.
my jaw dropped. Like, are you kidding me?
I wish I had seen.
Aaron, man, I was rooting for you, you crazy kid.
We should just set up a camera for every movie, like even, the dumb action movies, just so that
so we can get that moment.
when we come across the twisty turny one. I'm not sure. Did I tell you that there was a twist in this movie?
No.
Because I feel like at some point in describing, like running through our list of movies, hey, what do you want to watch tonight? Because that's how we do this, by the way, is, this one's kind of got a twist in it and all that stuff. So I'm not sure if I ever did that. I'm glad, even if I
don't
did,
think so.
that you don't remember it. So
My biggest complaint
Wonderful.
about this movie, and I'm going to say it right off the bat.
It's not your least favorite part, is it? Because we can save that for the upcoming.
No. Is the name of the movie.
It really doesn't have
Primal
much to
Fear has not. I think of this going to be like an alien movie or something like that. You're out hiding in the jungle from a monster. Primal Fear. That's what that sounds like.
It is an odd title. I'm not really sure what the connection is. I'm sure there's a way to find out and all that stuff. But
I thought about looking it up, and then I just decided not to.
So, I was going to ask you if you're disappointed that they didn't say the name of the movie.
I'm kind of glad that they didn't
That would've
because I
been
feel like that would have
stupid.
been real forced.
All right. Is that your notes?
That's my notes. Sticking to them.
All right. Did you like it?
I did like it a lot. It's up there for me.
All right. It's a good one. I
Yeah.
mean, really. And so I wanted to ask, you said, 2 hours and you took a lot of notes. The note taking aside, did it move quick enough for you to keep you in there?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it did.
That's why the notes were long, because a lot of stuff kept happening. I'd take a paragraph of notes, start the movie back up, and not even 2 minutes later, I got to stop it again. I got another paragraph I got to write real quick, because stuff happens,
Stuff happens. Yeah, it does move along pretty fast. What did you know about Primal Fear going in?
What you told me, which that it had to do with a murder case, and Edward Norton was in it, and that's it.
That's it.
That's
So
it.
your thoughts going in then?
I honestly thought that it was probably gonna lag and be a little boring at times. Courtroom drama, blah blah. I didn't think it would be so suspenseful throughout the whole thing. I thought it was one that I was gonna have to, I don't want to say suffer through, but work.
You thought it was
through.
going to be a sit.
Yes.
That whole property development thing is such just a successful but stupid red herring. Like, I'm watching the movie again going, man, this has nothing to do with what's going on. But, oh, wait, that's why it's in here, because it totally stops you from thinking about the multiple personality case and all this
I
stuff.
had to write down all those notes about it because I'm like, oh, man, here's the bombshell right here. No, it's
You
not.
paused it several times during this, and I'm going, oh, the poor thing.
Rewind it a couple of times to make sure I get the wording right.
Yeah,
Wait,
the
what was
South
that called
River
again?
Development Project. What?
Yeah.
Guess what? Doesn't matter. What surprised you?
Well, obviously the ending.
Yeah.
Really surprised
I would
me.
say so.
And just again the pace of the movie, everything moving along as well as it did, it kept me. I get bored fast with things, especially movies, and especially if I feel like it's going to be a sit. And I was intrigued this entire time.
I could tell you were very into it, very paying attention. Not that you don't pay attention with others, but you can tell somebody's focus every now and then.
Yeah.
Would you have liked it more or less if you saw it when you were younger? What if you saw it when you were 23?
I'd probably like it because Edward Norton, but I feel like it still might have been a sit for me then.
Okay.
Possibly.
Your favorite part?
Oh, definitely the twist at
The
the
reveal?
end. Yes. That I did like the back and forth between Marty and Janet.
Yeah, they did with Richard Gere and Laura Linney. They played pretty well off each other.
Yeah, where it's almost like they love to hate each other kind of thing. And and hate to love each other that we find out towards
Sure.
the end.
Yeah.
So that, and then again, Edward Norton's acting when the face changed
The
from
whole
Roy to Aaron was just phenomenal.
I gotta say, my favorite part. I mean, the reveal is a great part, but the scenes with Edward Norton and Francis McDormand, him and the doctor,
Yeah.
just the weird interviews and stuff, and then the scene with him and Richard Gere where he changes the big, the Roy reveal, basically.
Yes,
Those are some of mine. What was your least favorite part?
Probably when I found out that they wasted so much time in this movie. I didn't like that. And I kept getting distracted by the judge and her drinks. Every time she walked
Alfre
up
Woodard.
to the stand, she was like pouring herself a big glass of water. Then she's got like iced tea at one moment. And then they go back to her chambers and she's pouring like whiskey. Like she always just had some weird drink in her hand. And I just kept focusing on that. And I'm like, that's not needed there.
All right.
That's a distraction I don't need.
Interesting. Well, we ought to add that question. What was the biggest distraction for you in this movie?
Well, there's something in the movie or something I'm doing off to the side.
That's right.
I kept tapping my hand. I don't know why.
Would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Absolutely. And I would be like, just watch it. There's no twist. It's a murder mystery.
Fantastic. Would you watch it again?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. And
I don't know if it's going to hold up, the same. I'm sure I'll still be enjoying it. Obviously, I'm not going to have the same reaction. But I'm hopeful that if I watched it again, that I would enjoy it at least close to the same amount.
would you stop and watch it if it's on TV?
Yeah,
Are you happy you watched it?
of course.
All right. Is this the biggest twist that's ever gotten you? Not just with the Under a Rock reviews, but I mean, being that, the whole Under a Rock thing, it's not like you've seen a ton of other flicks, but
I think it might have been. I know we've done a couple of movies that have twist in them.
I mean, you've seen Fight Club on your own and stuff like
Yes.
that. That's probably the biggest one that I can think of that might contend.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the biggest twist one.
All right. Anything we missed? Anything you wanted to add? Anything that is just popping into your head right now about your first watch of Primal Fear ever?
No. I was more thinking about movies that I've watched that have twists in them.
All right.
I do still think that this one was probably the one that caught me the most.
Definitely got you. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we've done this the way that we have, where I, mostly shut up while we're watching the movies. Occasionally it'll pop in where it's like, oh, that guy was in this, or that's why you're thinking of. Because
Yeah.
if she's spending a movie trying to figure out who that person is and why that old man looks so familiar, it's because he's Fraser's dad. Now and we can
Move on.
Yeah, we can get back to it. So, all right, right on. Excellent review of Primal Fear. I'm so glad you liked it. I'm really, really glad that it got you.
Yeah.
It's nice
That's
to.
a good one.
It's nice to be there when and then you didn't figure it out and all that stuff because that
Didn't ruin it for
I
myself.
mean, good on you if you did, but that would have been a bummer.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right, cool. Fantastic. That's Primal Fear for Naomi's first time.
Yeah.
Find out what we do next week.
All right, it's time for Thought of the Day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's your thought of the day, thought of the day.
So, naming children after flowers and herbs is normal, but naming them after fruits and vegetables is strange.
Until Fiona Apple.
That's the first thing I thought of
Or
when I
no,
read
who's the kid named Apple?
that. I don't know.
Is that Fiona Apple? She didn't name her kid Apple.
I don't know. Someone named their kid Apple. It's still weird, though.
It is.
Yeah.
This is my son Banana.
And his friend. I was thinking of like bologna. I'm like, nope, that's not a fruit or vegetable. Wrong way. All right.
These are our
Luke.
kids. Broccoli,
Luke, are you going to leave us with a laugh?
lima bean, and Cheerios. I'm sorry, I couldn't come up with another fruit or vegetable either.
See, it's harder than it seems.
I am not going to leave us with a laugh, but that's because our friend Brian from England is going to leave us with a laugh. Brian sent us a handful of dad jokes.
Are they better than the jokes that you've been saying recently? Because your dad jokes have sucked.
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
Did you hear that laughing too loudly is illegal in Hawaii? They only permit aloha.
Not funny.
Did you see that coming?
I did see that coming.
Brat.
Yeah.
It's your fault. I hate my job. All I do is crush cans all day. It's so depressing. That's kind of a visual one, though, I think. It's like a
I get it by the way
written
you
down.
said it. I do.
Bigfoot is sometimes confused for Sasquatch. Yeti never complains. We're doing okay, Brian. I'm telling you. Lance isn't that common a name these days, but in medieval times, they were called Lancelot.
I can't.
That's a British joke. The wedding was so beautiful, even the cake was in tears.
Oh my gosh.
R.I.P. boiling water. You will be missed.
Oh my god.
It is. They're painful, right?
Yes.
Well, Brian sent us 2 books of dad jokes, so he gets to send dad jokes whenever he wants.
That is true.
I just paid $100 for a belt that doesn't fit. What a huge waste. I love that. That's a goat. That's a greatest of all time dad
absolutely
joke.
not.
What a huge waste. All right, one more. I found a wooden shoe in my toilet. It was clogged.
Oh my gosh.
I
That's
should've-
so
I should have done the
dumb.
belt one last, huh?
You couldn't even get that out without laughing.
It was perfect.
No.
That's an all-timer right there.
No, it's not.
That's an all-timer. Thank you to Brian for doing my job for me. I didn't have to look up any dad jokes this week.
You would have looked up some worse ones anyway.
I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Let us know what version of Robin Hood Naomi needs to watch first. Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner or the Disney version with the animals.
That's our topic for next week.
That is our topic for next week. Hit that on the Facebook page. Luke and Naomi on air. Luke and Naomi on air. Anywhere you need to find us. Hit the Google. Go Luke and Naomi on air. We come up.
That's right.
No matter what. Give us a follow on YouTube too. We would absolutely love and appreciate it.
Yes, subscribe so we can do this show live again.
That's right. Need a
Remember when
couple
we
of
used
more.
to do that? Oh gosh, good times.
Yeah,
good times.
we would love to have you call in and go, okay, you got to stop singing.
Yes.
You know,
he's
I'm
not
not
going to
gonna.
stop until you
right.
call in and complain.
Well, maybe not even then. So we'll give you more reasons to
Well.
call. So how about that? Like and share and tell your friends to like and share. They don't even have to listen. They can.
We
But just,
appreciate
give
it.
us all those follows on the YouTube. We definitely love it.
Yeah.
Hit the Facebook page. Check us out. We appreciate it. Until episode 77, have some fun this week and be excellent to each other.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.